Here we go. Let's check it out. UFC 306 is gonna be among us real soon. I mean, like real soon. This weekend we're gonna be watching O'Malley versus Dvalishvili. My name's Sai. This is Ash. You're watching Against the Fence. We're gonna be giving you the full breakdown of that main card, and we're gonna be telling you everything about what's coming up on it as well. What to expect, what to kind of be anticipating. We don't really tell you what to think. We more teach you how to think when it comes over to the breakdown shows here at ATF. But man, I'm stoked for this one. I think it's good because Sean O'Malley, he always puts on a show. Yeah. You're always gonna be pleased when Sugar shows up, and I can't wait to talk to you a little bit more about how he's gonna be performing in the main event later on tonight. Quick one from you, though, Ash. Who are you most excited to see on this card?
Ooh, it's got to be the Brian Ortega versus Lopes. That fight when it was first booked. I think it was booked 2 pay-per-views ago. Like, it is such a good fight to have, and it's such an intriguing one as well because, like, Lopes is just rising and rising and rising, and obviously Ortega coming back and obviously beating Rodríguez last time. Can he make a rise again to the top? But yeah, it's a great.
These are all
fight,
the important questions. These are all very important questions, you know. But also, you know, we'll get into a bit later as well. But Ortega was talking about going into a whole new weight division. So remember, the last event, it was going to be held at lightweight. Yeah. But then they. Because they couldn't do it
because he didn't even. I think he just got to a certain weight and just didn't bother cutting the rest. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, 100%. And so he's talking about those seriously sticking up to lightweight division. So we'll have to chat a bit about that as well.
That's true, mate. And also, what I want to try and sort of just get through before we do break the first fight down, the first 2 fights, which I want to talk about, because I see we always put a post out on our social media on Instagram and Twitter, well, X, and it's always like rate the main card, and a lot of people are saying 6, 7. I don't think anyone got past 8.5, and I think that's just reason being the first 2 fights on the card, and I was kind of the same until I done tape, and it was one of them light bulb moments when I was doing tape on Zellhuber and that Ribovics, sorry. And I was, it's this guy. Is it? It's the guy that knocked out Terrence McKenna with a head kick.
Yes.
And Zellhuber, sorry, is the guy that dominated and absolute pieced up his opponent in his last outing. I can't remember his name, but yeah, that's a great fight, man.
They're both absolute prospects, 100%.
100%. And I know why it's on the main card now, because do your tape, do your research. That's why it's on the main card.
Yeah, so that's a nice little insight for those who don't know. Now you know.
Yeah, no, 100%.
But let's get into the card. You know, we've got so much to talk about in this one. We've got first up, we'll go from bottom to top, right?
Yeah, go on, yeah.
I just quickly, if I was to press that and flash it up, it's your UFC 306 O'Malley versus Dvalishvili card there. Some changes to it. Of course, Raul Rosser Jr. is no longer on the main. He's actually put down into the
early prelims, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's mad.
Just prelims, no? Early prelims or just prelims?
I don't know. I saw early. It was early prelims. I'm going to have to triple check that.
Getting demoted.
Early prelims.
Yeah. I don't want to ask you a question a bit later.
That's mad.
I don't want to ask you a bit later. Now, what fight on the prelims or early prelims would you put on the main card?
Yeah.
If, let's say, something good falling out. Yeah, exactly. But for now, we'll get into the very first fight up. If I press this button here, I should get a good juicy look at the full fight card for the event. We'll start with Daniel Zellhuber versus Ribovics, yeah?
Yes.
Bottom of the card. Now, some of these things won't actually, no, it goes even lower, doesn't it? It's Rodríguez, Osbourne.
That's Osbourne, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
this is the first fight up. Okay, so red corner, you've got Ronaldo Rodríguez, and that's 17-2-0. And then in the blue corner, you got Osbourne, who is 12-7-0 as well. Now he's fighting out Jamaica versus Mexico. Now we've seen a good exhibition of Mexican grit lately. If you remember Steven Garcia last time out, so exciting. I kind of really wanted to push for this card, but the guy wants to take a break. And look, he's absolutely earned it. Looking here drastically, of course, reach advantage for someone like Osbourne. But for Rodríguez, he had a great debut earlier this year. In fact, it was. He came out near even on the odds, but he had the crowd support 100%. And in fact, he secured the second round rear naked choke on his opponent now. I think it was Prado who was fighting, if I remember correctly. But it was at the last possible second in the second round. Bonda, that was it, against Bonda. Now, the fact that Osbourne is coming off of the back of 2 rear naked chokes, do you feel like the UFC are setting them up a little bit? They know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing.
No, 100%. They're just trying to rise a Mexican star, aren't they, really? And in some cases, you can see, look at Sean O'Malley's path, for example. Obviously, they kind of set the tone, set the fights up, and they know what they're doing. 100%. I think you're spot on with that question, yeah.
Because if you think about it also, the fact that Sean O'Malley got to fight his last fight, Marlon Vera, who didn't at all deserve it.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like the guy does what he wants. He does what he wants. Yeah, so they do pick their cherry favorites, the Dana White privileges, as they call it. But you would like to think fighters do work on their weaknesses, right? So this is Osbourne real quickly.
Yeah.
Constantly improve themselves. But I've actually fallen bum to that kind of mentality, that kind of thinking as of late. I've put confidence in the wrong fighters, thinking, oh, surely they know what to do now. They've learned on it. They're working on it. They're improving. Most cases, they just don't. What do you think? What do you think the strengths would be in this fight for someone like
Osbourne?
Osbourne, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're 100% right. You would like to think that they do work on their weaknesses, I've always said to you boys and Modi and a few other fighters that I wouldn't say an L is a loss. An L is for learning. And you would have thought you'd learn from your loss, if you know what I mean. You kind of watch tape of your last fight. You think, right, hang on a minute, I did that wrong, and sort of learn from it. But like you said, it's just crazy how it happens again. But then it's one of them where it could be a different type of grappler you didn't experience. They done it a different technique to the other fighter, if you know what I mean. And it's just swings and roundabouts with, obviously, the lovely game of mixed martial arts. And you would have thought so, but it's just one of them.
Sometimes MMA math just ain't mathing.
No, exactly that, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, and would you reckon his strengths would be then in this fight for someone like Osbourne?
Osbourne, he's very quick on the feet. Hopefully, he can keep this fight on the feet. He's very quick on the feet, as I said, and he's very elusive as well. And he's great strikes, mixes it up very, very well. And I said to you before we come live as well, sometimes he's kind of like the demise of his own fight. Sometimes he gets a little bit too confident and then gets caught. But yeah, as long as he can keep it nice and sort of straight and narrow, as they say, and put his strikes together.
Yeah. So what do you think the narrative is going to be in this then? Do you reckon Rodríguez is going to want to get this to the ground and Osbourne wants to keep it standing? Because he's got reach. Look at that reach. It's pretty good. Yeah. I'm going to go back to that stat right there. It was 73 inches to Rodríguez's 65. So, yeah, 0.5 by bearing in mind.
Yeah.
His reach is almost as long as another person. It's massive. So, yeah, he wants to work behind that jab. But I tend to find these guys can be quite tentative. And it does annoy me a little bit when you get these tentative strikers out. Everyone's fainting, but no one's actually throwing anything.
Yeah, the only kind of guys you can kind of let off are the PTRs because they're downloading data, if you know what I mean.
Right. Yeah. So true. Okay. So let's get into then who's got the strengths and weaknesses in this bout. And you guys love this part of the event because
100%. If you are in the chats, let us know.
Yeah, let's get some comments. Let us know how things are, how your week's been, and who you're most excited to see on this fight card as well. Do like and do subscribe. I'll whack some socials above my head in just a second. But for now, who'd you give the striking to? It's got to be Osbourne, huh?
Yeah, Osbourne for me, yeah.
Grappling, straight up, I guess we're going to have to say that is our boy Ronaldo.
Yeah. R7. Yeah, Ronaldo, yeah.
accidentally pressed speed, so let's go with speed. Who's got the speed advantage?
Osbourne for me.
Osbourne's fast, isn't he? Yeah. And then power advantage, let's have a look on paper. Who's been knocking more people out?
Oh, it's got to be Osbourne, I think, surely.
I would have thought. I would side with that. Oh,
lovely.
Well, that just leaves cardio then.
That's another one where it will come down to maybe experience of Osbourne being in there more, and we've seen it more. Kind of he comes on strong sometimes, but I have seen him kind of wear under the wilt under that pressure. And if Ronaldo can get him under that pressure by grappling with him, you never know. Obviously, there's a lot of cardio attacks him being sort of grappled with, isn't it? But just because we've seen more of it and he's got a little bit more experience, you kind of got the side of Osbourne.
For cardio, yeah?
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe Rodríguez because of the wrestling, and he'd use that.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. He'd use it obviously offensively in the all day, all day, all day, all day, all day.
It's it's cardiovascularly taxing way to get a fight done. But okay, so if we go with that and we give it to Osbourne, then it's pretty much
Ronaldo's got the one thing that's going to beat him. You know what I mean? Just the grappling, and that's all it needs.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes. I might swivel with cardio. Perhaps I'm not entirely sure. I haven't seen enough of these guys. But yeah. What are you guys saying in the chat? Would you agree with how that looks and that sizes up? What about you, Ash? Would you side with that on the day, or would you think Ronaldo's got more of a chance?
That's what I was about to say, mate. It's mad to think, obviously, Osbourne's got all of them, and then Ronaldo's got that one. But that one is very, very dominating if you're very, very good at it, if you get what I mean. So, for me, I don't know. It's a bit I keep swaying because I've seen Osbourne look very good, but then, like you said, he's lost his last couple by submission, and he doesn't really have an answer for the grappling.
Ronaldo's won his last one by rear naked choke. Man, Osbourne's lost his last 2 by rear naked choke.
Exactly that, mate.
You know, kiddie string up 3 for free.
Yeah, set them up for disaster, as you said.
It looks like it. It does look like it. But I might chuck a little bit of a curveball here. I think when it comes down to this fight, the slow pace or output of Rodríguez is probably what's going to be good for someone like Osbourne, who needs to calibrate a bit before he gets his striking off.
Yeah.
You put a pace in him, he struggles a bit, and I don't think Rodríguez will put that pace in him. And I think that's probably an environment where Osbourne might thrive. So I think he's able to keep it standing potentially. But it's a clear way to victory for someone like Rodríguez. He's got to get it to the ground.
Yeah.
You know, he's got to get the fight down. Fair enough. Shall we go to the next one?
Yeah, let's go for it. I'm excited for this one, actually.
Oh, yeah? Let's check it out. Check it out now. It ain't so, brother. This could be a potential fight of the night on any other night, really,
it could, mate. It could.
Look at it. Look at it. We got the lightweight division here, ladies and gentlemen. It is Daniel Zellhuber versus Esteban Rodríguez. It's not Rodríguez. It's not Ribovics.
Yeah, Ribovics, that's the one.
So I still got Rodríguez in my head from last time. But look, in the red corner is 15-1, in the blue corner is 13-1. These boys have only lost once. Again, UFC know exactly what they're doing. They're doing these great matchups here on the night. This could be a particularly good fight. Again, a huge reach advantage for Zellhuber over in the red corner, out jousting the challenger Esteban by about 8 inches there, who's at 69 in his reach. I think this particular matchup is looking like it could be quite juicy. You got someone like Esteban who's got a hell of a chin on him and a hell of a drive. The guy keeps coming forwards. The Argentinian cannot be stopped. And then, of course, you got someone like Zellhuber, who will likely come out as a favorite once again, I guess, in this fight.
Yeah, it's just, is there something going on here? Because Zellhuber just beaten Argentina, now he's fighting another one.
yeah. He just loves it. He just loves it. Like I said, UFC know exactly what they're doing. He's a rangy striker. He's earning himself respect with those leg kicks alone. I think in the last fight we saw him deploying it aggressively, egregiously. Like he stopped. I think this is Prado, his opponent, from throwing his right hand because he just kept it occupied with the kicks.
Yeah,
and he did say in this fight though he promises that he will be knocking out Ribovics. Do you think he's seen something in his game that we haven't? And if so, what could it possibly be?
Who's that for, Zellhuber?
Yeah, Zellhuber said that he's going to knock Ribovics out.
It could be the forward momentum of Esteban, just because like he was putting Terence McKinney on the back foot a lot, and that could be again, like I was just saying in the last fight. You think you're on the front foot, you're doing a good job, you're landing strikes, but again, Zellhuber, is very good at timing his strikes as well. We saw that in his last outing, so it could walk onto something. And we know if Zellhuber has you hurt, he keeps coming forward. But then this is why this fight's so good. And this is what I said before. I'd love to kind of like, I looked at this fight and thought, and then sometimes when you realize who it is, because these guys haven't fought that very often in the UFC. And then when you realize who it is, you're like, oh, it's these two guys. Like, and that's what I mean. Now I know what that. Now I 100% know why this fight is on the main card. It's going to be such a banger. I think Zellhuber may be thinking, because if Ribovics comes forward like he did against Terence McKinney, he can catch him.
Yeah, I think you're onto something there. I do. It's huge urgency from someone like Ribovics, of course. He needs to close the distance. That reach advantage is no joke. That's the only way to do it and touch him is to get in close. And I think Zellhuber knows that he's going to want to do that. I think the person who wins this fight is probably going to come down to who's got the better IQ, who's going to be reading those particular moves and those particular plays on the canvas. So Zellhuber is most definitely going to make Ribovics go through hell in order to get access to the pocket.
Yes.
But the big question we're here to kind of decipher is: do you think Ribovics can do it? Do you reckon he could get on the inside?
I think he's going to have to use that. Going to use the classic saying. I think he's going to have to take one to land one just to get in close, and he for sure is going to have to definitely, if he has a good chin and can take that one to get in close, then that's I think his path to victory. Unfortunately, he's gonna have to take one to land one.
It's gonna be difficult, isn't it? But a bit of peekaboo style.
Yes.
Sort of giving that duck and weave that we all seen from Tyson, and he could just find himself getting the old sneaking on the inside. Shall we have a look at the gauges for it?
100%, mate. Oh, don't get the gauges up.
It's gonna be difficult, isn't it? Striking. Yes. I know. I'm gonna go Zellhuber on striking. I'm confident.
To be fair, I think that I'm confident on that one as well. Actually, to be fair, mate.
Grappling, and who's going to use it
now? This is where it gets a little bit dicey.
I reckon because Zellhuber is not too bad. He's got good takedown defense. I reckon
he's got a bit of a win streak as well, isn't he? Being Orlando Venato again, big and Christoph Gigos as well. That's another great win. Won by submission in that fight as well. That's a good win to have. And I don't think Ribovics. He's only fought twice. Is it twice? Oh no, maybe not. Sorry, 3 times. Sorry. Oh no, it's twice. Oh no. We look okay. I'd probably say. I
reckon Ribovics for grappling.
As you say, the
opposite. Just because I also do think that Ribovics is certainly going to need it. Right, he's going to have to fight with that style.
That's true.
So he will most likely use it too, and just be a bit more aggressive with it. But then power. That's a bit tough.
Hey, this is where it gets tough because literally every one of these is tough because they're both quite well rounded. And obviously, like I said, that's why I did a little bit of a dig there just to sort of have a little look at how many submissions and things like that. And Zellhuber's got 1 submission in the UFC, so that's the only reason I was going to go grappling wise for him. But
I think on paper we've got 54% of Ribovics knockouts come by TKO or knockout, right? That's 54% of his wins, sorry. 47% of Zellhuber's wins. So, we're looking at fight time.
He's more of an onslaught fighter, isn't he? Because obviously, don't get me wrong, I know he pieced up Pedro. Is it Pedro? Prado, sorry.
Yeah.
He pieced up Prado, but Prado had a great chin that night.
He did.
I don't know if that was due to his actual chin or Zellhuber's not really got no pop to his punches, if you know what I mean. So if we're going to go power, maybe Ribovics then, yeah.
Yeah. I'm probably excited with that as well. I know he does like to speedball that overhand right a couple of times to get on inside, and he does dog out a couple of punches. But all right, we'll do that. He'll get power, Ribovics. Speed, I reckon Zellhuber.
Took the words up my mouth, mate. Yep.
And cardio, I might have to go Ribovics, because he's got this second gear he can tap into, which isn't necessarily cardio, but it's just this grit to keep going. And, that dog drive. He's got that kind of dog drive that you see in fighters like Schnell. And those,
Yeah, 100%. Can't question that.
We go with it, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Although, all right. Let us know if we're doing something absolutely heinous here in the chats, please. Keen to see it, keen to hear about it, keen to know. So that's that. That pretty much for us draws the line underneath the second fight up on the card. Lightweight division, Daniel Zellhuber and Ribovics. I forgot to press was the record button. Should I just press it now?
Yeah, go on.
I just press it now. But we can pull it down later from the other bobs if need be. Sweet, that'd be fine. Cool.
Yeah, these are the most important ones, really, aren't they?
Absolutely. Exactly what we're getting on to next. Oh, yeah. So look, that's what that looks like there for the second fight on the card. But let's get into the third fight on the card. If I press this magic little button here. It should put it all down. And next up, oh yeah, this is where it matters, bro. This is where it matters. This is where it matters. We're back in the flyweight division. Not actually happening at lightweight this time. It's Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopes. Although Brian Ortega was talking about stepping up to lightweight. We'll get into that in just a second. In the red corner, it is 16-3-0 versus the newer challenger Lopes, who's 25-6-0. I know the numbers don't quite add up because he's not been on the scene for long, but don't be mistold. Don't be fooled. This guy's been around doing what he does at the highest degree in other organizations. He's just relatively new to the UFC, and he's been progressing through the ranks relatively quickly, hasn't he?
Oh, 100%, yeah. He's been exciting us. Unfortunately, he took out our boy Sadiq Youssef, but
that wasn't unnecessary, was it?
Yeah,
that wasn't necessary.
Is the absolute rise that just it's mad because you can see a fighter and it's always that, like, do you know when a fighter wins and then everyone talks about a loser, and I think that was when
Evlev.
Thank you. Yeah, when Evlev fought Lopes, no one was talking about Evlev. Everyone was talking about Lopes just because every time Evlev got him down, literally Lopes was literally. Had him in a submission, had him in a choke, had his arm, had his leg. And it was like, oh my God, this guy's crazy.
He really made him work. He really did.
100,000,000%. He's just so exciting to watch for such a young age. It's mad. The guy's so exciting to watch. He's an absolute killer at his age. And yeah, this one's a tough one for me because I actually do like Brian Ortega.
Yeah.
And I like them both. I'm not bothered who wins, but it's just going to be sad to see one of them lose, if you know what I mean.
It is true. It is true, yeah. But also, you might also be a little bit less inclined to go with Ortega because he's already got his foot at the door, right? He's been back in...
Yes, that's true.
We mentioned a bit earlier, he went to the lightweight division back in June. They put the fight at a lightweight class for him, and he still dropped out anyway. And never mind his brilliant performance against Rodríguez. And let's not forget that because he performed... methodically beautifully against Rodríguez. He weathered the storm and he methodically went on to submit the guy. Despite all that performance that we've recently seen from him, he's still talking about moving up to lightweight after this card, after 306. So what's your take on that? Bearing in mind, like, he's still only lost to like literally the best in the flyweight division. Do you think it's makes sense? Do you think he should stay, or do you think it's a bad choice?
Yeah, it's a tough one, mate. Like you said, if he's already talking about leaving the featherweight division and going to lightweight, then like we said, but when we was doing the watch along, if you got one foot out the door of a division or obviously retirement and things like that, like you can have the right mindset. But it's a real tough one because the lightweight division is such a tough division. And can I see Brian Ortega sort of mix it in with the best? I can kind of see him in the top sort of 5.
Yeah.
Anything above that is going to be really, really difficult. But get this job done, then talk about moving. You've got a very dangerous guy in front of you with Lopes. Don't be talking about changing weight classes or whatever like that before the fight. You talk about it after when you got the job done.
This is a really good point, actually. I quite like that. You know, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Don't start talking about it before the fight because part of you mentally or subconsciously is checked out already. You know, whether you win or whether you lose, you know, there's nothing tethering you to this division. You should really tackle that after the fight's done. It's a really good point. And so, look, I don't win or lose. It's going to be a huge changing of the guard in every sense of the word. I think DC coined that earlier this week as well when he said it, and I think he couldn't be any more accurate with that point. You know, what would you be a good welcome fight, do you think, for him in the lightweight division? Just, you know, fraternize with me for a little bit. If he was to go to lightweight division, what would be a good fight, do you reckon?
Get the rankings up, mate. Let's get the rankings up.
Or, you know, who's gonna be open arms saying welcome to the lightweight division?
I'll tell you what, which wouldn't be such a bad fight. I know it might not be exciting, but like a one that it was a winnable fight for him would be Kelvin Kattar.
Yeah,
that's a winnable fight for Brian Ortega, and it's not one that may excite people, but it's a fight to ease him into the rankings, get him in the sort of the top 15, 1,000,000%. And yeah. Where is
I think that could be a good one to.
Where is?
A good one indeed.
He's not even ranked.
Because Kattar has fought a few.
Oh no, Kelvin Kattar's a featherweight. What am I on about?
Yeah, he's fought a few of the featherweights before as well. He fought.
What am I about? What am I on about?
Hasn't he fought Rodríguez already?
Yeah.
He's fought Rodríguez.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm talking about the wrong division here, mate. I'll tell you what.
Right.
I posted earlier about Fizev maybe getting back into the octagon soon, so that could be a nice little welcome into the lightweight division. Maybe someone like Fizev. I know it could be a difficult one. I'm just trying to think of someone else because obviously Rafael dos Santos is moving to welterweight. BDS is BSD, sorry, is booked. Reto Americano. Brian Ortega's beaten Americano at featherweight, so that could be another one that to maybe do at lightweight. He's already beaten Manny Americano.
Yeah. Or do you run him against Poirier, Dustin Poirier? Like, give him like one of the.
Yeah, I think Poirier only wants like sort of really, really big matchups. Don't get me wrong. I know on paper it's a great fight, but I don't think that fight would excite someone like Dustin Poirier.
BSD.
So I think if BSD beats Americano, that could be one. That could be one.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, I think I'll tell you what. Maybe if Brian Ortega could do it against Rodríguez, whether the early storm with BSD. And then maybe get a late submission round 2 or round 3.
Yeah, that'd be interesting, wouldn't it? I actually quite like the idea of putting these old guys against old guys, these legacy fights with those other legacy ballers, rather than just, always having them stand up to the new tests of time, which is being the new people coming through the division. As good as it is, and every fight needs to do it, quite excited to see. I'm really excited when the old boys get together. But fair enough.
Yeah, that's true. JK's in the chat. Welcome in, JK. I hope you're doing well, sir.
Yes. What's up, JK? Thanks for your comment, bro. And he's what did he say? What did he say there? He said, let's go Lopes.
He said, let's go Lopes. Tough fight, though.
Yeah, look, it is, right? It absolutely is. It's not an easy one. I think DC thinks it's more. I was listening to his comments this week. More difficult for the likes of Ortega than it is for Lopes. I actually heard Lopes say he wants to kind of go in there, get the win, and then go straight to the corner of Grasso's fight afterwards.
Oh, wow. Because them two are usually in the corner of each other. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Is it Pro Eximus MMA? Welcome in. He says Dariush, Benil Dariush. That's actually a very good one.
Proximus,
obviously, if because Brian Ortega's top 5 of the featherweight division, he could potentially fight Dariush coming off a loss of Arman Sarukian. You never know. Great shout.
That is very a good shout, fight. Proximus MMA. Thanks for chucking that in there. I actually would have to agree with that. I think I would like Dariush against someone like Ortega.
Be a good fight because both obviously got good grappling. Dariush different kind of grappler to Brian Ortega, because we saw obviously Dariush getting the best against Gamrot, and Gamrot, we all know how good Gamrot is at grappling. So could Dariush get the better of Ortega in them grappling exchanges? When I'm on about the grappling exchanges, could be tied up against the cage and things like that, and that's where Dariush done his best work against Gamrot.
Whilst we're actually on that, what's your nap thread actually talking about the comment here from Proximus MMA? He says always wanted to see Dariush versus Ortega at 155. Grappler's delight.
Yes, there you go. See, took the words out my mouth when I sort of jumped into that point. But and on that Dariush is different type of grappler. Everyone sort of doubts him, but he's very, very, very high level. No, you love Dariush.
That guy. Love that guy. Of course. And look, on the same thread of Grappler's Delight, the fight we're looking at on the night this weekend.
That's Grappling Delight as well.
Surely a little bit, right? Surely. I mean, when you're looking at tape on Evloev, to find out how to beat this guy, it's no easy feat. You kind of got to go back to the early times of the division and of his entrance to the division. You talked about it as well against Evloev. That fight that he had with him was absolutely gnarly. It was great. He nearly submitted him multiple times.
Yes.
So I don't think Lopes is going to be afraid of taking the grappling to Ortega, although he can stand anywhere. He can stand with him too, I think, confidently as well. Do you think the ground will be a dangerous place for Ortega, or do you think he'll be able to handle it?
No, this is the thing. I think Brian Ortega, jiu-jitsu wise, is just a little bit ahead of Lopes. So he could be a step ahead of him. But the one thing that I kind of want to get into before we get into like the gauges and things is, I don't know if the weight cut or the weight changes had an effect on Lopes's performance against Dan Ige, because obviously Dan Ige stepped in at short notice to fight Lopes in his last outing. Lopes looked very, very tired in that third round. And I mentioned twice now about Ortega weathering a storm. If Ortega can weather an early storm from Lopes, grappling-wise, striking-wise, any kind of things like that, then maybe Ortega could get a late submission. I don't know. Just because I haven't seen Lopes tire like he did in his last outing, but that's why I question. I don't know if the weight cut and the weight change and obviously change of opponents all sort of married into one had an effect on his performance. Because obviously round one, like you said, Si, he was a submission away from, like, he had him in all kinds of bother and all kinds of trouble. Yeah. But then obviously in Dan Igue's favor, he weathered that early storm and then he came in strong. So
he looked good towards that latter end of it. It was such a good fight.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad, and I still respect Ige for stepping in for that. Honestly, I don't forget that.
3 hour notice, like mad.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? He got the call. He's like, I'm on my way. Straight up like that, just like that. I'm just looking through the tabs here so you can see a bit of like the grappling advantages and striking advantages. But let's get the gauges up for this. Do you want to get some chats ready?
Yeah, welcome in. Wales says salute, fellas. Welcome in.
Yes, Wales.
Doing well, sir. Yeah.
Thanks for stopping by, bro. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for dropping by, mate. Don't forget to drop a like on the video. And we're going to get to some gauges. So Proxys MMA in Wales and JK, if you're still there, hit us up with what you think is going to happen with these gauges.
Yeah, help us out with this, because this is where the rubber meets the road, right?
Yes.
Striking. I will go with Lopes on that one, although.
Yeah, it's a little bit more slicker, but Brian Ortega's striking has improved. Obviously, a lot of people may just instantly pick Lopes, but don't get me wrong, Ortega's striking has massively improved.
I agree, because to win against Rodríguez, your striking's got to be somewhat good.
Oh yeah,
you know.
100%. But like you said, I think he just weathered that early storm, and he was using what I think it was Ribovics should use: take one to land one, and he was doing that against Rodríguez. Yes. He was taking one to get in close to get the grappling, and you kind of have to do that against someone like as kick orientated as Rodríguez.
Yeah, and someone like Rodríguez who doesn't put full intention into all of his shots. You can take one. You know, some of his shots are range finders.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, exactly.
So he can do his work best. Grappling though, let's get back to that because it's going to be real tough.
Yeah, grappling. This is where a lot of people may side for Lopes, but
Do you think?
I just think Brian Ortega is a step, just that slightly step above Lopes. Don't get me wrong. I think when it comes to grappling, Lopes is more flashy with it. But if you're talking dialed in and you're talking technique and everything like that, it's got to be Ortega. I just never forget that guillotine choke he had on Cub Swanson. To change the grip mid-sequence and leaning back as well. To change a grip on a guillotine is hard enough, let alone when you're leaning back and you can easily just slip off. And obviously he subbed Reto Americano as well. He's got Money Americano's going around subbing people at lightweight. You know what I mean?
He's got a very impressive resume, to be honest, doesn't he, Ortega?
Yes.
I'll quickly put power on Lopes because I
agree with that. I agree with that.
But grappling, you do think that's going to
I would say Ortega, yeah.
Ortega for grappling. I wouldn't be too mad at it. I would probably say, yeah, you got to give him something. Speed.
Speed, Lopes for me.
Yeah. Cardio. Okay.
Cardio.
Ortega, right?
I would say Ortega.
Yeah.
Because he's got a bit of grit as well. Because, like, don't get me wrong, in that Max Holloway fight, he was getting pieced up and he was still coming forward. And that's what I'm talking about, being a bit gritty. And the same in the Rodríguez fight as well. He wasn't
Mexican grit is a thing now, man.
He wasn't
Put it
getting
on the map.
Like battered like it was in the Max Holloway fight. But he was like, his face was getting jabbed, he was getting kicked in the face. He was still trying to come forward to get close, to get the grappling. And all he needed was that one moment. And obviously, it comes to show. Wales says, just while I'm here on this point, he says Lopes third round TKO. Ooh, for Wales.
Interesting that.
MMA says, I think Ortega has a striking advantage in terms of technique, but Lopes' speed and power advantage quite significant. So we'll cancel that out until Lopes tires if he doesn't slow down again. And 100% Proxys MMA saying about just the differences. And I don't think I've ever seen Lopes slow down. You think like the Evlev fight, he was getting grappled, taken down. And his submission attempts were relentless, and he was getting up and then putting the pressure on Evlev. And then it comes to the third round of to the Dan Ige fight, and Dan Ige was coming in strong. So but then again, like I said, I don't know if that was due to the weight cuts, being top to cut weight, do this, do that. I don't know if that had an effect on his performance. But yeah, if Ortega can weather an early storm for Lopes, if Ortega can weather that early storm with Lopes, I see Wales saying third round TKO for for Lopes. I think it could be a 3rd-round submission from Brian Ortega.
Wow. Yeah, I do like it when Brian Ortega comes out and surprises me, like he did against Rodríguez. All for it, absolutely. Yeah. And I might even ask the same question: if he beats Lopes, does he still change division? He's kind of got.
Well, that's the thing. I find it quite baffling why he thinks he wants to change divisions. Like,
if he beats Lopes, then because I do understand that if Volk still had the belt, do you know what I mean? But Volk no longer holding
yeah, exactly.
the belt.
But that's the thing. He's not fought Ilya, so
he's right.
You know what I mean? And again,
it does kind of seem like he's running from him. It's like, man, what did he do to you that you got to run from him? Like, come on, man, stick around a bit longer and see what happens.
If he beats, like you said, he'd be on a 2-fight win streak, and he's beaten Rodríguez, which is a tough fight.
Yeah, he's only lost to like the best.
Exactly that, man. I think maybe if he fights one more, maybe if he fought someone like Arnold Allen as well, then he's there for the title, because obviously we're going to see Ilya fight, obviously Max. Then maybe we're going to see Volkanovski fight Ilya if Ilya was to win. Don't get me wrong, that fight would probably happen. And then I think Brian Ortega was to fight one more time. He's there for the belt. If you're going into the lightweight division, like I said, maybe the best bet you'll probably get would maybe be Faizev or Mariusz at number 7. So I don't know, but then, like I said, you're getting into really big guys like Dan Hooker. You're getting into the Justin Gaethjes. You're getting into the Dustin Poiriers and the Charles Oliveira's and the Arman Sarukyan's. So,
it's tougher up there.
It really is. They're big guys as well. They're guys that, and then obviously if you're thinking Brian Ortega against Islam, come on now. You know what I mean? Obviously, I'm not saying that would ever happen, but I'm just saying like weight wise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see that. But look, okay, cool. That's how that sizes up for now. We'll move on to the next fight on the fight card. I will probably go with Lopes on the night, looking at it, to be fair.
Mate, no, I really don't know. Before I even pick my pick, Proxys MMA, thank you for the £5 donation. It says, keep up the great work. Thank you very much, sir. That's very kind of you.
Incredibly
kind.
Hopefully
we see you there for the watch along. Hopefully we see you there for the watch along.
Absolutely, man. You're welcome. You're very welcome in this house anytime and all the time. We're on the weekend on this Sunday morning, Saturday night, 3 a.m. Do come back to the channel. We'll be doing the full watch along of the main card. Tons and copious amounts of energy and drinks we fueled and pumped into us to give us up and entertaining you guys. But we just love it.
On the night, I don't know. This could be where I do a sigh. I might till last minute, because I really don't know. Like I said, I can see, like I said before, I know I'm repeating myself now, but like Lopes tiring, then you get a Brian Ortega maybe late sub. Then if Lopes comes out quick, Brian Ortega may not be able to settle. But
and he does come quick.
Yeah, but that's the thing as well, because Lopes didn't come out too quick against Dan Ige. He didn't come out like he always does. He came out,
which is smart, very smart.
No, exactly. Like, because to be fair, Dan Ige has great power, so that could have been why. Which is very tactical, which is very, very good and very good IQ for his young age.
Comes with great responsibility.
Yeah, and the one against Super Sadiq, he came flying out the gates. He just got in Sadiq's face. But then does he want to get in someone like Brian Ortega's face because of Brian Ortega's grappling? Because if he gets in Brian Ortega's face, Brian Ortega gets the body lock, gets him down. I don't know, mate. This is what I mean. I can't wait. Hopefully it hits the mat. I can't wait. This is another moment where everyone would wanted to see sort of the Gilbert Burns and Sean Brady grapple. This is another one. This one's probably a lot more higher level than these two. Well, I reckon.
You think so?
But yeah.
Maybe so. Time on that one. Let's go back to the card and have a look at what's up next in the co-main event of the evening. But I think we might have really touched the nail on Ortega versus Lopes. You know, they are finally going to do their thing. Okay, so this fight here. So, women's flyweight division, we're looking at Alexa Grasso and Valentina Shevchenko. Now in the red corner, Grasso. Grasso is 16-3-1. She is the lady to do what no other lady's been able to do for quite some time and dethrone the queen herself, Shevchenko. And ever since, she's just been scrapping and fighting to get it back. So in the blue corner, 23-4-1. Blue is starting to look good on Shevchenko. She hasn't been wearing that corner color for long. Will she have to continue to do so going forwards? I don't know. But this is going to be the third time these girls have danced. The first time, of course, you remember that went incredible from Grasso. Great job. She got the win. And are you excited to see it, though, for the third time? Because the fact that it's not headlining the night kind of proves that not many people are.
Yeah, it's a great question because like we've seen so many sort of trilogies now.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm glad I think it's a great idea that they did Tough. Not that I watched it.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think it gave. To be fair, I think it favors Valentina more than it does Grasso, just because it gives Valentina more sort of time to sort of sharp. Not that she needs to sharpen any tools because she's very, very, very well rounded in herself anyway. But it just gave her that sort of break, and maybe gave like doing a Tough series. Maybe gave her sort of like, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Do you know when you go when two tough coaches go at it?
Time to calibrate.
Yeah, and sort of maybe she not hatred, but maybe need to sort of like have a bit of anger towards her opponent instead of being so nice sometimes.
That's cool. I like that. It could have been a different perspective. I'm interested to find out if she's a favorite actually in this one as well.
Valentina is underdog in this one.
Underdog in this one.
Yeah, I'm putting my house on Valentina, mate. You can't not, mate.
Wow.
I'm putting that £5 at Proxy MMA. I'm putting that $5 on Valentina Shevchenko now.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, dude, because it was fighting words from her earlier this week. She actually claimed that she beat Grasso in the rematch last year. What about you? Do you concur?
I'm yet to watch it again from obviously previously watching it.
Yeah.
It's like we always say sometimes when we watch a fight live, it's one, hard to judge, and two, sometimes because obviously we're watching it so early in the morning, you have to watch it again to sort of really sit there and really dial in and watch it. And sometimes your opinion can change. And I've seen it plenty of times before where I've watched the fight again. The one prime example could be the Peter Yan and Sean O'Malley one.
Right. Yeah. I needed to watch that again too.
Watching that there and then, I was like, wow, Peter Yan won that fight all day long. But then sometimes you just look at the bigger shots and the bigger moments in that round. And Sean O'Malley had the bigger moments.
He looked good. I agree, man.
Done more.
Yeah. Yeah, you have this kind of bias towards the fighter you've picked, and that's exactly what happened to me in that fight as well.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Most people did say that Shevchenko hands down won round 2, 1 and 3, so it was 2-1 going into the championship rounds on the rematch, but round 4 was dicey, and then of course round 5, Shevchenko looked good until one mistake at the very end, which put her underneath Grasso. Not that any damage was done.
Yeah,
but some judges might look.
Some of the judges think, oh, well, she could around now. If it's a close round, we've kind of got the winner. If you know what I mean.
If you get just because you got them down at the end, it doesn't mean you win the round. You know, but a lot of people might look to that way.
Hopefully, no spinning artillery from Shevchenko again, please. No more spinning artillery. Don't get caught with that again, please.
Yes, just be easy. Take it steady, right? Take it steady. And also, look, I know it was a draw second run.
Yeah.
But it stings a little less when you get a belt wrapped around your waist still, doesn't it?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Grasso could smile all day at that, and yes, they're equally, but I do think it's a bit of saltiness from Shevchenko. Like, she performed as good as the other girl, but the other girl seems to have got rewarded from it still, you know? So it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But my question for you on this one quickly, Ashton. Do you think she applies the same strategy? Because Grasso did get taken to the ground a few times by Shevchenko. Shevchenko looks good in those positions until like the very last round. She messed up on it. But do you think she has the same strategy? She's going to deploy a kind of grappling heavy approach?
I think so, because I think we all thought before the very, very first fight that Shevchenko would have the edge striking wise. I think it's the other way around. I think Grasso standing is actually very, very good and surprised a lot of people. And I think Shevchenko mixes takedowns into her fights anyway. But I think, I think maybe a little bit more she may go for the grappling scenarios. And like you said, I think twice now she's been, I'll use that word again, she's kind of demised her own fights by obviously that ending of the 5th round and obviously the very first fight they had, going for the spinning kick and getting caught and getting taken down and submitted.
Yeah. It's, sometimes her biggest enemy of Shevchenko is actually just herself.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
but I do think what was great about that second fight is the corner of Grasso was also telling her to like remain calm, don't rush it, you know, be patient, be poised, and she was. And because Shevchenko very much mostly is as well, she's kind of within herself, measured in her striking until sometimes she'd throw something too creative and she doesn't, you know, polish it like well enough.
Exactly,
it catches her off guard, doesn't it?
Just before you move on, Proxy MMA says, I'm excited just because I felt Shevchenko won the second fight, rounds 1, 3, and 4. So to me, this is a decider.
Yeah, Agreed, it is. Or what some people might call it in your position as well, payday.
Yeah.
Because the odds look bad exactly. for Shevchenko.
I've never ever seen Shevchenko this much of an underdog. Not to say she's a massive underdog, but obviously Shevchenko's been so dominant for so many years, and for a fight to be a draw and her to be this much of a bit of an underdog, you can get a bit of dollar for.
Yeah. Right.
Just quickly before we move on, sorry. Wow says, got Shevchenko by decision. Thinks she learned from her mistakes and puts it right. The pressure on Grasso with the whole Mexican Independence Day at the Sphere Sorry.
Yeah. It's there's a lot of pressure for the Mexicans on this card, and I do think with Grasso, I think you made a very profound point that probably reaffirmed my confidence in Grasso as well. That she had time, about a year, to calibrate, really focus on what she wants most of all, and literally have opposite her dangled throughout the duration of this year.
Exactly.
That motivation to get it done this time.
That's the word I was looking for last time. Just be a little bit more motivated, because you can be a champion and then defend it, and then sometimes the drive kind of leaves you a little bit. And then obviously having such a close, it's not like she lost a fight against Grasso last time, because obviously they drew. And then 100% having that time off, and then even making it a little bit better to have your opponent in a tough series to maybe get a bit of sort of oust against her and being across from her and getting annoyed with her maybe or something like that, giving her a bit more drive.
Right.
Over the other side of the octagon to her week on, week in, week out.
Yeah, no, of course. It's not a bad point to make, actually. Let's go over to the gauges on this one and find out what this looks like on paper then, right? So this, as we said before, it's where the rubber meets the road. I think striking was on point for both of them last time.
Yeah, this is mad as well.
I'm going to go on.
For me, I still think, I know I just said about Grasso maybe getting a little bit of the edge in the striking in their last outing, but I still can't shy away from Shevchenko striking. It's just so good.
Yeah, I think it is too. Shevchenko's striking is very much on point, but what I want to get at is I don't think there's much else that Grasso can offer up if not her striking. You know what I mean?
Maybe the grappling. Well, no, I say grappling, but it would be sort of in the scrambles and like how she obviously finished the first fight in the scramble, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, true.
You're very right, because if you were to say who would I give the grappling to, then Shevchenko. Who's going to use it more? It's going to be Shevchenko, and she's going to use that grappling to get it to the mat. And where on Grasso trying to look to advance, as she always does, land a bit of ground and pound, soften her opponent up. And it's mad, like you just said. Yeah, it's hard to think what Grasso would actually get.
True. I'm going to come back to striking on that one, but I'll go to power whilst we're talking about Grasso, because she did drop Shevchenko, I think, twice, or at least once for sure.
Yeah, you're right. Thinking about it, a jab got her, didn't it?
Yeah, and it sent Shevchenko back. She had to roll back, find her feet again. And I think on a few occasions, it was underneath that power striking or the power element of Grasso, which made the judges probably say, stole the round. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah.
But I would comfortably say speed for Shevchenko.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah, agreed.
And then the two hardest ones on this card is cardio and striking. I still don't know which one to go with either of them. You know?
Yeah, it's mad.
Do we split one apiece? But then who should get what?
Because cardio is another one for me, because obviously, like you said, who's going to have that grit? It could be the Mexican. I don't know.
Mexican grit, you know.
The Mexican.
It's a thing now. They put it on the map. It's now something we observe and recognize.
It's actually a new thing we engage.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it is. It's like Polish power is one thing. Mexican grit's the other thing. It's just known. So okay, potentially Grasso for that grit. Did we think? Yeah, I might go Grasso actually, because I think she did find a new gear in the 5th round against Shevchenko. Shevchenko.
Yeah, I've got to bring this point out while we're talking about the gauges. Boxers MMA says something that is making me change my prediction to Grasso is the massive statistical advantage for the younger fighters in rematches and trilogies in MMA is close to 74%. Ooh, great stat there, Proxys MMA.
It's a really good stat. Thank you for digging that out. That's super valuable. I love that. But also, rematches. We've already seen the rematch, haven't we?
Yeah, he said trilogies.
Oh, I did say trilogies. Okay,
yeah.
I was gonna say I thought because we did see the rematch and she didn't win, but I mean, because
and every round they've had has been pretty competitive in the sphere. If rounds are close, can't see Grasso losing a decision, which is sometimes very true. If you're a betting man and you think things are going to be close, then you just got to go for the home person, haven't you? Really?
Yeah. Gotta be safe. Play it safe. No, if you're a better man, you'll go Shevchenko, I think, because
of the odds, yeah, 100%. But yeah,
odds and chances are good.
But for me, like I said before, I think having the time off that she had, because obviously, let's see the distance between the second fight. When did they fight? How long after did they fight the second time? Because it was in the same year, wasn't it? So the first fight, oh, no, it wasn't in the same year. It was back in March. Was it March? And then sorry, it's 2022, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, was it? No.
It was 2023 was last year. And that's when they last fought.
Oh, sugar. Yeah. So yeah,
the year before that was the first time
March, and then they fought again, which was the draw, which was September. So yeah,
23. Yeah.
So yeah, March. Yeah. So a couple of months. That's mad. So obviously she's had over a year off now. Sort of not off.
See. So that rematch was within the same year. No, you're right. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. She's had a bit of a year off now. That's mad.
Yeah. Okay.
September 17th, and they're kind of fighting on the same month.
I think you should also cross-reference that stat to find out how many of those rematches were within the same year of subsequently losing initially as well. Because we saw Volkanovski, and I'm no doubt he's part of that.
Just about to say Volk.
Yeah, he's part of that stat. Well. I'm sure. Yeah, it was quite close proximity to the initial finish. So yeah, maybe that's also needs to be cross-referenced into as well. Maybe that's a playing factor.
Yeah, maybe I think if you lose the belt, I think you take a year off and then come back. Don't fight straight away.
Take a minute. That's what Izzy did, but I don't think it helped him anyway.
Yeah.
But I'll just say to Proxy, I'm sorry that we're making it far more confusing for you. I mean, he's hoping to come to a decision. We're just like throwing so many different things out there. I'm going to do this real quickly though. I'm going to land on cardio for the Mexican grit and striking for the bullet.
Yeah,
that is
Shevchenko. I agree with that, mate. I agree with that.
Yeah, just because she does have speed there as well, it's going to look quite good on her feet.
Yeah,
and I have to say round 1 and in round 3, Shevchenko striking. Let's just even focus on round 1. Striking did look
100%. And obviously, if you just joined us and you're looking at us giving grappling to Shevchenko, just want to explain ourselves because obviously everyone's thinking, hang on a minute, Grasso submitted Shevchenko. So how does Shevchenko get grappling? Like the different types of grappling. Obviously, grappling people may think obviously Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu grappling, but in terms of obviously taking to the opponent to the cage and working on your grappling there, working on grappling on the mat, advancing on the mat, like Shevchenko does and always has. I just think that Shevchenko is going to use her grappling more than Shevchenko. Shevchenko is going to use her grappling more than Grasso. I did O'Malley.
O'Malley's fighting later.
There we go again. Man.
Brilliant. No, it's a good point. And you know what's quite interesting about Shevchenko in her fights is that she is the reason she wins it, and also she seems to be the reason she loses it as well.
Yeah.
She gets herself into these situations on the grappling on the ground and she gets choked out, or you do find she does initiate the grappling a lot more. So she does use it to her advantage, but also she pushes it a little bit too far, and it's just kind of worked against her, as we've seen historically.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you for the old stats there, Proxys MMA. Thank you very much.
Oh man, genius. Absolutely good stuff. Stats. I'm confident with that on the night as well. I think I would even side with Chevers on the night, to be fair.
Yeah, same.
But we're getting into the main event of the evening.
Hopefully I remember to do my picks this week.
Yes. This is where we be. Main event.
Here we go.
Sean O'Malley versus Merab Dvalishvili. Now in the red corner, it is the Sugar Show. He's 18-1, and then in the blue corner, 17-4. Merab has been doing the most and working the absolute hardest out here. But this particular event, I have to say, has been hijacked, hasn't it? By the Sugar Show. And as I was saying earlier, it's always an entertaining or banging card when Sugar shows up as well. To be honest, so remember 299 UFC 299.
I remember 299.
Great card. I just thought, how could UFC 300 top this?
Yeah, no, 100%. 299 was like mad, and then I think 300 had the finishes to sort of marry up with the card that 299 was.
We were spoiled those weeks. We were absolutely spoiled.
Both them,
I have to say, I mean, it was. I thought it was a bit of a shoot himself in the foot by making such a good card before 300.
Yeah.
But they did it anyway. And they seem to love this sugar show with Sean, and they put a lot behind him because this guy is doing the most. He's bringing the numbers. He's bringing the excitement. He's in one of the most exciting possible venues for a fight to ever take place
100%.
in this century, and he's hijacked the show because this would have been a tough finalist on the top of this card, wouldn't it? It would have been the actual Mexican on the day of the Mexicans, you know. So it would have been that, but the star power of Sugar Sean trumps it apparently, which is wild to see. But he kind of gets that power to do whatever he wants. But but let's get to the question of this one. So we stay locked in on this. Only one thing is going to matter. Never mind, Sean does whatever Sean wants to do. What will matter on the night is, can he stay standing against Merab Dvalishvili? What do you think?
Yeah, great question. I can't wait to get into this. Very interesting. So Merab obviously has to get in close to get the takedown. We all know how long and rangy Sean O'Malley is, and we all know how precise his strikes are. And in Merab's last couple of outings, he has been caught several times, and even Zellhuber caught him with a left hook. Even Marlon Moraes, who's no longer competing in mixed martial arts, caught him with a left hook. Yeah. So it does scare me to think that these guys are not really long and rangy like O'Malley are catching Merab coming in. So it's mad. I honestly don't think Merab can get close. And it's mad me saying that. Like, a lot of people actually know, if he can take one and then getting close, 1,000,000% yes.
Right.
Just a lot of people may just think, Merab is just going to pick him up and dump him. But I think O'Malley can stuff a few takedowns and surprise some people. You know, I think he can.
Yeah, and look, even PDR managed to trip up O'Malley at a couple of stages, and he just bounced back to his feet.
Yeah,
you know, he's got such an urgency to find his feet. If Merab takes him down, he's really got to do it with a double leg. And also, I think someone like Sean, and what's so good about Sean is, you know, he doesn't have one particular superpower. Being, I guess he does in a sense. You know, it's not power, it's not grappling, it's not all that, but he's got fantastic striking and precision, if I'd say that's his superpower. And that speed is what's so useful.
100%.
But the point I'm trying to make with this is that, you know, the guy's got a good fighter IQ that makes him adaptable. He knows what tools to deploy for what fights. And with this particular one, I'll probably look to see more uppercuts or those knees coming through to kind of prevent Merab from shooting on him. But you know, and I think even pretty young tried to get O'Malley down, didn't he?
I think you're right there. Obviously, JK's been saying for a long time now he can see O'Malley winning with a knee. But that's the thing. Even if he just threatens it, feints it, because that's how I think he's going to get it done. He may get O'Malley to the cage and try and work for a trip or get his hands together for a dump. But he's got to get close to do those types of things. And it's one of them where, like you just said there, I think O'Malley's got a great fight IQ. The uppercuts will come into fruition, and it's a tough one because Merab has been dominating a lot of his fights and just roll dogging everyone. The cardio, we know the cardio is going to be there for him. He's going to keep coming forward. But O'Malley has that sneaky power as well. A lot of people don't think he's got power, but I think it's just sneaky power that he has. And we all saw what happened when Sterling tried to get in close. Just got caught.
Yeah, did not work. I mean, look at these numbers here. I'm looking at the grappling page here for you guys now. Of course, as expected, O'Malley does not grapple. He doesn't do takedowns, so his average is very low. But Merab, look at that. It's incredible. 6.43 takedown average. I mean, I think most of that came from his fight against all of that came from his fight against Henry Cejudo. The amount of times it took him down there, that was insane. Unprecedented.
Taking down Cejudo as well. That's just not an easy thing to do.
It's not an easy thing to do. And then to say that Sean O'Malley will be able to withstand his takedowns is thinking, can he? Will he? I do wonder.
I think if he can keep getting close, I'm not saying that Merab's not going to do it. I'm just saying it's going to be hard for him because O'Malley's going to be precise with his strikes. Going to be on it, like you said, feint knees, feint uppercuts. If Merab gets close, O'Malley's going for a ride.
O'Malley needs to make Merab respect him. Have you seen Merab respect anyone lately?
No.
the way that he fights, he doesn't respect his opponents. He just walks in, doesn't he? He's crazy.
And the thing I want to sort of say before we sort of carry on is as well, like Merab's been sort of very, very active on social media. He's kind of getting a little bit of a personality as well. And I don't know if that maybe could sort of come into play on fight night, because he was just a guy that would just go in his fight and fight his fight. Now he's kind of being more on social media, more joking and laughing on social media, getting into doing things online. And I don't know if that's going to play into
you think it have a negative effect on him?
Yeah, I don't know. I just, you know what he's like now. It just,
yeah.
But I'm words here, but yeah.
No, I hear what you're saying, and sometimes I do wonder if that does have an impact on a fighter or not. And there's no real data to suggest it does per se, but you can speculate. But I would say this: about damn time are probably the words that are floating around his head this whole entire week, because no one's actually worked harder than this guy in order to be where he is right now. He's done the most. He's fought more people than he needs to in order to have an opportunity at the title shot. He's just been put second, mainly because, you know,
Sterling's been champion.
Yeah, exactly. Sterling, but also they put other people in front of him as well. And I would say that I don't think O'Malley has really encountered anyone like Dvalishvili.
No, you're spot on there. Like, he hasn't fought anyone. I don't think either of them have not fought a fighter of either caliber, if you know what I mean. So obviously, Sean O'Malley's not fought anyone with, well, I say the wrestling credentials because obviously that's what Sterling does. But
and they train together as well, don't they? But it's still very different.
We didn't really see many. We didn't see Sterling get that close. So yeah, I'm trying to think back to that fight now. It's quite a while away now.
Yeah, it's way back. Sterling, O'Malley's corner is like, you gotta go, Sterling. You gotta go. And then he goes, and gets caught, and that's the last thing he heard and saw on that night.
100%. Just before I move on, Proxy says Merab can make it boring if he can't get the takedowns. Didn't get a single one against Aldo, but just kept him against the cage for 15 minutes. That's I hope it doesn't turn out that way. 5 a.m. our time UK. Exactly that, my friend.
Yeah,
we will have to crawl through that. He says
at that point I'll be begging O'Malley to get the win. I wouldn't mind picking O'Malley and then Merab winning.
Oh no, 100%. I'd love to see Merab as champion. That'd be great.
For that reason, I might even just do that. But if it gets to like 5th round and Merab is just resting, then it's like, O'Malley, please put us and him out of our miseries.
He says, do you think Merab has staph? He got medically cleared, but definitely looks like staph on his arm. Yeah, I see that. I think it is staph, but yeah, the doctors maybe just sort of just push that to one side, lads. Don't worry about
it. Yeah.
Keep the fight on. It's all right.
I actually don't know enough about it to be fair, to be sure.
No, I don't know. I haven't read properly into it, but I've seen his arm and it does look like staph. But I think he was on some media channel the other week and he was putting it down. He was playing it down, if you know what I mean. Said no, it's fine.
Yeah, I reckon people can heal up from that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, but yeah, just to go on your point there, Process of my saying about
it's always a caution
fight against Aldo. Yeah, you're 1,000,000% right. He didn't really take down Aldo. And he just had him up against the cage. And to be fair, Merab's striking impressed me in that fight. But I think it's just because of the pressure that he possesses, like the pressure he puts on, and he will just not stop for anything, and he will just keep coming forward. And if he can kind of put that game plan on against O'Malley could tie. Right. If you get O'Malley on a back foot, even though O'Malley can strike off of his back foot, don't get me wrong, it's just he's got to be defensively sort of. But like the prime example I would use is at the weekend. You know, when I was saying about Entourage coming forward when she had the hands down, she got caught by Yan Jinan. She had her hands down and
just chasing her.
Caught. Yeah,
just chasing.
And then
her.
she had a great game plan against Santos. We saw Silver at the weekend. And she had her hands up, but the pressure was forward. So again, if Merab's going to come forward against someone like O'Malley, he's got to be kind of like defensively sound as well as putting that pressure on.
Yeah,
someone like Sean Strickland's perfect example. Sean Strickland's very, very defensively sound, but puts the pressure on you.
He does. Yeah, he's very defensively sound. And I would say this as well with Merab, like he needs to be invested in the 4, 5, 6 because I think he might miss a 1, 2, 3. And like someone with a tank like Merab, he's got 8, 9, 10 if he needs to. You know, he can keep throwing and keep going. But that's where he needs to be invested in, because that's how he's going to be closing the distance and putting that pace on O'Malley. The moment he affords him that time and space to work, then really you're talking about Merab having difficulty. So keep coming forwards is a way to get it done. It's just going to be a scary one, because we just know O'Malley to stop people. And he's got that ability to do it. He can do it. He absolutely can do it. Let's get the gauges up and see how this looks on paper then for those guys.
Get the gauges up. Just want to quickly say as well, because I think the Ray Longo will have a perfect game plan for Dvalishvili anyway, because I'm sure they had the perfect game plan with Sterling going into this fight, and obviously they've got the best kind of outing in this, because Sterling has been in there with him. Yeah, and he can say that, listen, he was biting on this feint, he was biting on that feint, or he was doing things. So he's been in there with him, so he's experienced it, and he's experienced his power as well. Because he didn't get knocked out cold. Yeah, then he's experienced his power, so he's just got to say, look, listen, watch out for this, watch out for that. But yeah, like I said, I'm sure Ray Longo would have a perfect game plan for Merab in this fight. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so striking, I think hands down that's going to be O'Malley. Grappling, we know that Merab's going to use it. Go to Merab, yeah. Power, nice and easy. I would think so. O'Malley got power, speed. O'Malley, cardio, Merab. Oh, I think that was the fastest one yet. I would have. I mean, if you had said cardio, O'Malley, I'd be like, whoa, back up, bro. I think no one on planet Earth could have any complaints on them. Yeah, that's got to be hands down, right? That's the thing. We cannot go back and forth on them. Everyone in the chat, if you're there, you can't disagree with that. Watch Merab knock out Sean O'Malley now. That would be mad. Could you imagine? Insane. Oh man, that'd be stranger days. But yeah, I'm confident with that, and I think on the night I would probably even side with that as well. I think I would just go Sean, because I'm not going to stress myself out too much about it. I would want Merab to do it. Absolutely. I want Merab to win. I won't be too disappointed. I've counted out O'Malley so many times now. Counted him out against Peter Yan. Right, me too. And who's the other fight that I counted him out against Sterling as well, to be fair. That was it. It was and Vera. I've counted out Drickless Duplessis so many times now, and I even picked Izzy, and that was hard picking Izzy, but Duplessis again just surprised me. And it's mad to think O'Malley's been doing it. And then this is one of them. If Merab can get close, then O'Malley's in for a long night. But like I said, if O'Malley can keep it at bay, keep him at distance, keep him at range, kicks, elbows, his jab, then Merab will be the one in for a long night, trying to get in close but can't. Hey, look, most probably. I just think there's something real spooky going on with Sean O'Malley. How he's to keep doing it out of nowhere. I'm like, well, it's something. Yeah, it's strange how it's just constantly happening. Sus, maybe. But he's getting it done, and I think he's going to do it again. Personally reckon that could probably happen. Could catch him in a bad way. But that wraps that up. What's the? That does indeed. Proxys MMA says, I want Merab to win just because he is insisting on giving Figueiredo the title shot. Figueiredo is my favorite. Oh wow, okay. Oh yeah, Figueiredo's doing bits of bantamweight now, isn't he? So that'd be a great fight. He's not matched up with anyone, is he? Older. No, yeah, Figueiredo is meant to be maybe fighting Peter Yan. That'd be a great fight. That would be Figueiredo versus Peter Yan is an absolute bomb. I think that fight needs to happen first. I like it. Then if Figueiredo can get through Peter Yan, yes. I like how Sean O'Malley's sitting there just kind of dishing out who he's going to fight and who would want to fight. But also, before we go, I do want to mention, what fight do you like better? And, let's start some rumors. O'Malley versus Topuria or Holloway versus Topuria? I know Holloway's getting it, but what actually would you be more excited about? Oh, after obviously seeing Max do what he did against Gaethje, Max and Topuria. But if Max didn't do that, then it would be O'Malley and Topuria. You wouldn't mind that as well. That's I think could be quite a good fight. Yeah, I think both are very, very great fights, and you've kind of or even horny now. Max and Sean O'Malley. Ooh. I even like that. I actually might like that more. Actually, that's actually a great fight. I think I would like it. Not many people would talk about that fight. No, but yeah, that's actually a very, very great fight. But I would let you want to see that. But yeah, I'd prefer Holloway and Topuria just a little bit because I like Holloway. Yeah, and I think he deserves it just because he's done so much for the sport so far. Obviously, I'm not to say that Sean O'Malley won't do that for the sport, but Holloway's just given everything. He's been.
I reckon Sugar after the BMF belt after.
I think that could be deployed. Could you imagine? Yeah. But yeah, Process MMA says he would prefer to see Holloway versus Topuria. Yeah. Like I said before, Process MMA. If you haven't heard me before, there's always that thing of like that MMA triangle, isn't it? So you've got obviously Volkanovski that's he's got Holloway's number. You've got Topuria that's got Volkanovski's number. Yeah. Steps in Holloway that's got Topuria's number.
Don't you love these little love triangles in MMA?
Yeah,
it's like you could beat him, but not him, and so on, and it goes around.
Yeah, exactly. Topuria could beat Volkanovski. Holloway can't beat Volkanovski though. But then, he can beat Topuria though. But it's mad. It's like that though, isn't it? Because we say it all the time over it against the fence. Styles make fights, and obviously I know a lot of people will say that. Of course, it's just one of the things you were saying. It is obviously Topuria's style was great for someone like Volkanovski, but Max's style, could that pay sort of troublesome for someone like Topuria? Last comment, and we'll sort of go back to the menu if you haven't done so already. But Process said, I'd rather see Pantoja versus Sean O'Malley rather than Sean moving up to featherweight. I think Sean is perfect at bantamweight and would need some serious bulking for 145.
Yeah.
Oh, Pantoja versus Sean O'Malley. Oh,
that's an interesting one. I don't think Sean wants that smoke though.
I think that them two have sparred before as well. I see an early footage of Pantoja and
really?
Sean O'Malley sparring. This was before Sean O'Malley was on the Dana White Contender Series, and I remember Sean O'Malley hurt him with a body. Sean O'Malley hurt Pantoja with a body kick. I remember that. Wow. I remember watching that.
I did not catch that. Did not catch that before.
No, it's very, very rare footage. It's an old footage.
Now I've said it though, I do kind of still like the idea of Max Holloway versus Sugar Sean. So that's probably my most exciting one still. Okay, cool, guys. Thanks for slugging it out with us again for another 5 rounds of who's going to beat who here at ATF for the breakdown show. So again, it's not about telling you what to think, but really teaching you about how to think, and I think Proximus MMA, you in the chats have been on point today with the comments. So thanks for your time and even your support as well.
Thank you for my bet money this week as well, mate.
That goes to marketing, bro. That goes to marketing.
Yeah. Just before you wrap up, mate, sorry, I've got to give him one more shout out because he's been an absolute gem in the chats. He says, they've had problems with each other for a while. That's Pantoja and Sean O'Malley.
Hey, look, there could be something to make. And then you know me, Ash, I love a story. I love a story.
You love a story. You do love a story.
Absolutely. So if there's a story there, if you're telling me that they've had some problems for a while, this is the makings of a beautiful story I'm seeing coming out. Can't wait to tuck into that one. Look, guys, again, thanks so much for coming in and chiming into the event. We are going to be here on the weekend, Saturday night, Sunday morning, 3 a.m., giving full coverage of the Notches UFC 306 event, O'Malley versus Dvalishvili. We'll be covering all of the content on that main cards. If you have questions, if you want to jump into chats, don't watch alone, watch along. It's all about being part of this community and making sure you got someone to really bounce your thoughts off of and get your voices heard across this MMA community as well on a day. So look, all you guys are going to be up in the morning watching it. We look forward to seeing you guys there and then. And until that time, stay safe, stay blessed, and love, peace, chicken grease.
Oh, he said it.
I did. I got it out there. But that's all for me. And you too, Ash?
Yeah. Sorry, I can't stop reading out his comments now. He said he was outside the Paddy Pimlet meet and greet. Oh, you'll have to sort of catch up with us on social media, Twitter or Instagram. We'll continue the conversation there. Or actually, I'll tell you what, jump in the Discord. It's in the description below. We have conversations in there throughout. So obviously, even after a breakdown show.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, continue the conversation there, my friend. Otherwise, to be fair, mate, me and Si could be live all night speaking to you, and I wouldn't pull it past us. But yeah.
Yeah, do you know what? Why not? Yeah, let's stay for like another. Yeah, we'll get comfortable. Let's just get comfortable and be here all night.
Definitely jump in the Discord, mate. We'll get the conversation going in there. Let's bring back the memories, of obviously, outside the Paddy Pimlet meet and greet. But yeah, thank you for chiming in. Thank you for everyone that has chimed in.
Indeed.
Si's already said love, peace, and chicken. But yeah,
when I say it, it's time to go. That's brilliant, guys. Thanks again. Good night. See you Saturday night.